Hey guys, Anthony here. It is Friday, July 30th, 2021. I just wanted to make a video today going over a few topics that are going on. Just discuss some of these topics, put them out there, see what your responses are and what some of you think about what's going on. On the heels of my last video, which actually was a devotional talking about how America is not what it says it is. We're going to look at some of the things that are going on in the country now, governmentally, and that can bring us another round of lockdowns, that's what it looks like it's coming to. You see it creeping each day as school gets ready to start and the new year for students gets ready. It seems like they're ramping up and this push for lockdowns and mask mandates all around the country. And we have a few states. One is my state of South Carolina that is pushing back against that. I believe Florida and Texas are two other ones. But we'll see where that goes. I think that eventually these states will be pressured or pushed into this lockdown very simply by those in power rearranging numbers and tests and cases. You know what they do and how they could get their way. And so I would advise you as preppers or just people that want to be ready to continue your prepping, because there is a lot of turmoil headed our way. I believe in the next few weeks and months coming into the new year again. We may see some very bad things happen here in America with supply chain shortages, shortages of food or not having enough food to be delivered to the store shelves, inflation running rampant, and prices skyrocketing. We have all that to look at and all that to worry about. And on the heels of all that, we have wildfires throughout the country. I think just under 100 wildfires. We just had an 8.2 magnitude earthquake in the Alaska region, which was the biggest quake in the last 50 years to hit the United States. We have massive flooding and dam breaks in China. Specifically last week, there was tremendous devastation there in Germany and I believe Denmark. There's fires raging in Turkey. There just seems like there's so many disasters taking place that are just, they cannot be counted. I'm going to do a separate video on what I think about that, a Bible study, a short one, and another video. But just some of the things I wanted to think about are the coming lockdowns, mask mandates. What are your thoughts or perceptions on what's going to happen? I'd be curious to know that. Olympics, I haven't watched 1 second of the Olympics, nor am I interested in watching woke athletes participate in different sports with no fans. It's all fake. It's all it's not like it used to be. So I'm not interested in any sports. That's been like that with me for many, many years. I believe many of the sports teams and organizations in the United States have gone to lean more towards socialistic behaviors. Let's just leave it at that. We're seeing a big push in the NFL to get players vaccinated or to force them or coax them into getting vaccinated. One such player, just an example, quarterback Ryan Tannehill for the Tennessee Titans stated that the NFL forced his hand to get vaccinated, and he was originally, or if he had his own way, he would not have done it. However, he stated that because he wants to play and win football games and stay in the sport, that he bowed to their request and has gotten vaccinated. And how many other NFL players that may ordinarily would have not been vaccinated be forced, or in order to stay in the sport, they get vaccinated. And So I just don't agree what's going on in this whole arena. The NFL just being one example. Capitol Hill hearings, I saw bits and pieces of it, and you would think these so-called policemen at the Capitol building were suffering from PTSD. I just don't know who's writing the scripts for them, what they're testifying against, because basically what I saw that day is people letting people into the Capitol building to walk around and to have fun, if you will. I did not see any hint of this so-called insurrection or whatever they're talking about. So this is a whole nother narrative that can be another separate video, but it's just a clown show what Nancy Pelosi's running there. It's just so detrimental to our country, or what's left of our country, and what these corrupt politicians are doing to our country. On other news, Jamie Lee Curtis said that she's proud to watch her son become her daughter. So I guess her son is having a gender change or whatever. So she's proud about that. And these woke Hollywood celebrities trying to tell you and I how to live our lives, what to do with our lives, is just off the charts. You need to tune these people out. You need not to watch their movies. You need not to support them in any way. You need to just ignore them. They're basically losers, and they're also socialists as well. There's a book, I'll put the link in the description box, by an author named Carol Roth. The book is called The War on Small Business and How the Government Used the Pandemic to Crush the Backbone of America. And basically it talks about how 5 major tech companies gained trillions of dollars in company valuations during the lockdowns of the COVID, and how government deemed or picked and chose what businesses were essential and non-essential, essentially crippling the backbone of the American small business. And we may never know how many businesses have actually gone under, but it's a very high number, and it's growing to this day. And if there is another round of lockdowns, these big tech or big box stores stand to make even more money and transfer even more wealth from the middle class to the upper 1%. What's going on at the border is extremely worrisome. I would be very, very worried if I was an American citizen looking at what is going on and who is crossing the border. You're talking about military-age men, excuse me, not just from Mexico or South America, but from all over the world, coming across the border, and then hence being transported to cities and towns and states throughout the country should worry you greatly. What the plan is, I could only speculate and what I think, but I'm thinking that if there's hundreds of thousands of military-age men that have already crossed the border and have been dropped in different areas of the country, it's tantamount to some type of coming invasion or some type of coming unrest that may take place, and that these military-age men will be used in orchestrating that event. Let's put it that way. That's what I surmise. Please let me know what you think. I know everybody's interested in what their stock portfolios are doing, how good the stock market's doing. What's being done and perpetrated right now is a tremendous smokescreen to lull you into complacency while they put all the pillars of their plan into place. I've seen some videos on YouTube, and you could research them yourself, of military or ex-military officers that served in the various branches saying that certain higher level military leaders in active duty have been called and told to get their houses in order or to get ready for something. What that something is, again, we could guess on it. Is it a a potential conflict with another country? Is it something that's going to happen here on our soil? Is it some kind of terrorist attack? Is it some kind of domestic violence that they're going to be used to quell? We could only guess what that is. But if you look at all the pieces and start putting the puzzle together, with millions that have crossed our borders already, have been brought here, many of them military-age men, the military supposedly being called up and said to get ready. It just makes you wonder what is going on and what their plans are. And then the coming lockdowns and the push to pit jabbed people against unjabbed people is going off the charts. I believe we're headed for a big crisis in that regard, and that may be something that tips off this military need in the future, because there are many people in the United States that don't want to take a toxic substance that has not been tested into their bodies, and don't want to be forced to take it, whether the force comes from not being able to go to work or school or the store, or to participate in our system of commerce. It just worries me on where that could end up. And so when you put all these pieces together, including listening to governors, I'll give two examples: Newsom from California, gruesome Newsom, and Killer Cuomo from New York, talking about, Cuomo in particular, talking about, driving to people's houses or apartments, getting them in a car and taking them to get the shot in their arm. This is very troubling language that I hear. And as a prepper and as a citizen of this country, it worries me greatly on where we're headed as a nation, because these governors are not coming up with this by themselves. They're pushing a narrative. They're out to, again, fundamentally change America for the worse, I believe. And we're seeing this Orwellian 1984 world cast upon us, and so many sheep are just complacent and going along with the system. And I think that's where we're headed as a country, and I think that's what's going to tip off a lot of conflict down the road. So let me know what you think. I'll cut that video here today, and I got a few more to do. One of them is a Bible study from the book of Jeremiah, and hopefully that'll be up this weekend as well. So let me know what you think, guys. Very interested to hear your feedback on what's going on. Thank you. Stay ready. Anthony signing off.